Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake, and what we're going to make today are rolls. But these particular rolls, well, some people call them sub rolls, some people call them submarine rolls, hoagie rolls. Well, the list goes on. There's quite a few different names, but it's a bread that's designed that is long and generally skinny. They can be wider also too, that people make sandwiches out of them. As I'm more familiar calling them subs or submarine sandwiches. But let's get started. First off, I made the dough in my dough maker. You can make it by hand if you prefer, but I find it much easier to do it this way. So I'm going to start off by giving you the complete recipe, and it will be in the directions below the video. You need 1 cup of whole wheat flour, and that's what I think make these submarine rolls or hoagie rolls quite special because we're using whole wheat today. 1 cup of whole wheat flour, as I mentioned, 1 cup all-purpose flour, 1/8 of a teaspoon salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 1½ teaspoons of active dry yeast. Now you're also going to need water, and you need 1 cup of water, lukewarm, but it has to be at least 110 degrees. Now you're going to get 2 of the sub or hoagie rolls out of this recipe. So I want to show you what the dough looks like, and this is just one of them that I have wrapped up, and so I want to show that to you. And I'm just going to put some flour on my counter here, and what I like to do is you know, just cut them in half. So this is one of them. You'll get 2 out of them, and just stretch them about well, this is probably about 8 inches, 8-9 inches. And what I like to do is just take your fingers and pat them out a little bit wider, and then I actually fold one side and then the other, and then I just flip it over, and then just square off your edges. This dough came out of the machine well, a little time ago. All right. Now you're going to need, of course, a pan or a sheet that's been greased and greased well. And then I just lay that down on the cookie sheet like that. Now the next step, of course, is it needs to be risen, of course. But I do want to talk about, you know, a topping for it. Now you can brush water over the top if you want, or you can use an egg wash with just egg and water, or egg yolks and water. And then I like to sprinkle some sesame seeds on it. And again, this is just optional, that type of thing. And then indeed put a cover over this and let it rise to at least its double, and that's depending on the temperature of your kitchen, that type of thing. Mine generally take at least about an hour, but you do want to, of course, as we do know, this has to double in size before we bake it, and we'll bake it at 400 degrees, and it will take anywhere, and it could take anywhere from, my gosh, 25 minutes to even 40 minutes. It really depends on your oven. You'll know when the hoagie or sub roll is done when you turn it over and you knock on it with your hand, with your knuckles. You'll hear a hollow sound throughout the whole roll. You'll know it's done. So I do have one to show you. Just let me rinse my hands quickly here, and I'll get some of this flour out of the way. Okay, and here is how they bake up. This is the one of them. And of course, I just showed you the other one. I get 2 out of them. They're 12 inches in length, and they're about 3.5 to 4 inches wide. It really depends, you know, your shaping of it, that type of thing. They do bake up to a beautiful golden brown on the bottom, and I can hear, I'm sure you can't, but I can hear the hollowness of it. It really is such a pretty roll, and let's cut into it here. It's a nice crisp roll, and it's slightly warm, and I think you can maybe see you can see that how it is warm. And surprisingly enough, it's not real dense or real heavy of a roll, but it looks just beautiful on the inside. And allow them to cool. Like this one is still warm because you can definitely see the heat coming from it before you make your sandwich or that type of thing. So put them on a cooling rack once that you bake them, and then just slice them up and enjoy. If you like this recipe and you give it a try, leave a comment because I'd like to hear from you. And as always, thanks for watching Diane Lovetobake, and please subscribe. I'll see you soon.